hope you're all doing well. Today is Tuesday. It is just after 9 a.m. and today we're going to go take care of a leak that popped up on a new build that we shingled. This was a few videos ago, and for some reason a leak has popped up around the vents. So we're gonna go take that, make sure that's taken care of, and then we have another customer to visit. This is probably in the last video. We were helping them with a leak they have with their metal roof, and it's still continuing. So we're gonna go there and do some testing with it and see if we could find where the root cause, or at least the root location, is. So we're down by the trailer. We're gonna go load up the ladder, tool belt, basic tools, and then we're gonna get on the road. It is a not so beautiful day today. Temperature on the truck is reading 4 degrees. Been a lot of precipitation in the last week or two, and there's still more expected. Not a ton of snow. It hasn't been quite cold enough for that, but definitely a fair amount of rain. You know, with rain, you can't always do as much work, but it does bring more work in. So we're not quite done with the season yet. And you know what? I don't mind, because the temperatures aren't too bad. So sometimes instead of bringing the trailer, I just stop to put some of the tools in the back of the truck. And you know, I know today we won't need a whole lot. I'll bring a sealing gun with me today, and we'll bring the tool belt and everything, but apart from that, we really don't need a whole lot. So for that in there, we'll just grab a trowel in case some of the shingles are a little stuck, and then I'm gonna grab an impact. We'll grab my bits, and we'll grab a little bit of tuck tape in case I need to cut the vapor barrier. Okay, I think that should be it. All right, guys, we got everything loaded up. We're gonna go to our first repair job. With that being said, we will see you there. Cue the timer. Alright guys, we're just pulling up to the job site. Before I unload anything, I'm just going to go take a look and see what we can find. Let's go get this ladder all set up. Okay, so where this is coming in apparently is from the bottom of this attic vent, supposedly. We're gonna go pop up there and see what we can find. So apparently this one was giving them trouble, which is super strange and doesn't make any sense to me. That nail doesn't have any water on it, but we could apply a bead of silicone up and around here, I guess. Maybe it came in one of those nail holes, potentially. That corner's trimmed. Over ice and water goes up and under here. So that's interesting, huh? Okay, well, I've gone up there and had a good look at everything, and I've even popped the ladder up into the inside, and for the life of me, I can't see anything that shows signs of water coming from that vent. There is a slight little puddle that has dried, and since it was right here, you can see a faint little watermark, water that had pooled. But when I go up here, there's no sign of any kind of water dripping down or anything like that. And we've had rain all of last night and for a few days. We had a really heavy storm not too long ago, and I mean, it's possible that it's related to that. Yeah, it's really weird, because there's no sign of it. I think this plastic was put on afterwards. So I'm not too sure where that's coming from. I have some water with me. So unfortunately I don't have a hose hookup, but we do have water bottle filled up, so we can pour that on it and see if anything, you know, come back down and see if there's any kind of drip. And if not, the only thing I can really think of doing here is just putting in some sealant, and maybe our ice and water just hasn't had time to stick. And for some reason the plumber decided to put a lot of caulking in and around this plumbing stack flashing for whatever reason. So it's this vent here. That's all the water I got. So we'll see what happens. We'll go back down and take a look. That's actually a pretty good example of why you need, or why we always put 1/2-inch overhangs on all of our shingles. I don't see any kind of thing happening there. All right, we're gonna grab a couple cloths. We'll dry off that vent area, and we'll run a bead of caulking underneath. All right, I'm gonna try to run a bead up and along the side of this vent. I don't put nails in the very edge of my vent. The only nails that are in the vent are the ones that are holding it in place. I always keep my nails pretty far outside the actual flashing. So I know it's not anything like that. Now this is maybe just a chance that the ice and water just didn't have enough time to stick. Okay, well, that should take care of everything. Yeah, we tested the vent, didn't see any signs of water coming in. So I went ahead and resealed the whole perimeter of the vent with silicone instead of ice and water. That'll give it a more permanent seal until the ice and water can, you know, has enough time to heat up and properly stick. So I think going forward, what I might do around vents is use a more of a tacky peel and stick product like Blueskin. And that's just to, yeah, that stuff is super tacky regardless of if it's cold, warm, whatever. That stuff has a real nice stick. It's real high quality product. So I think going forward, what I might do is put that, you know, like take a 9-inch piece, cut that around all of our vents and accessories and stuff, and do that going forward versus standard ice and water. Just because ice and water does have that cure time, and you know, it takes a little bit longer. Or we just start putting a grace on all of our jobs. We'll see. Okay, but I think that's pretty much all I can do. Again, I didn't see any evidence of, apart from this very light water stain that's here. I don't know where this would have came from. I don't see anything that's wet up there. I don't see any signs of wet wood, any kind of staining on the wood or the decking or anything. So I don't see any kind of corrosion on the nails, nothing like that. So that's about as much as I can do for right now. You know, where this is aligned as well, it's kind of, I guess, depending on where it was dripping, it's hard to tell exactly if it was coming from a screw or a nail or what. But anyways, I think one thing I might try is just tightening up one of these screws that are up here. Yeah, on every vent that we install, every accessory, we always put silicone underneath the vent, and we use a roofing screw that has a self-sealing washer on it. So when this roof, so this is sealed from underneath, it actually seals that hole with the silicone that's in there, and then it's also sealed on the top with a washer. The homeowner just got home as soon as I was about to leave, so I asked them if they have a hose hookup, and they do. So I've already went around, I've sealed up those vents, or resealed I should say, and they've got a hose hooked up over here on the side. So what we're gonna do is just bring the ladder over this side of the roof, and then we're gonna take this hose up with me. That's lovely. All right, hopefully that's enough reach. So now we're gonna spray this entire area. So this would be a lot of rain and a lot of wind. All right, let's go see if we can find a drip. All right, we'll try a few other spots. All right, now I'm just gonna, I can't see anything from up there, so we're just gonna give the whole general area a good spray. Okay. Well, that's a lot of water. So if it's keeping all that out, then I think we'll be okay. Okay. There's a little bit of water right there. So a little bit is coming in through the top of the vent. All right guys, so we're just leaving that job. So when taking the hose up, you guys would have seen the first time I sprayed the vent, I didn't see anything. But when I went back a second time and really tried to spray up under the shingles, that's when I started to see a slow little drip that came from the top of the vent. So I think our ice and water shield just hasn't had enough time to heat up and stick. You can see from the shingles, they haven't stuck at all either. We've had a lot of overcast and colder, windy, rainy days, so the shingles just haven't had enough heat to stick to each other, and that goes for the ice and water as well. I think one big takeaway I've taken from this is going forward with all of my accessories that I'm putting ice and water on, I'm going to use a heavier peel and stick product, something like a heavy Grace or a Blue Skin product, because those are a lot tackier and they'll stick immediately versus having to wait for something like ice and water to heat up and then stick. So I think going forward around all accessories, we'll use our heavier, heavy duty ice and water products, and that way we know for sure that nothing's going to get underneath, because that's what was happening. The water, when I really tried to force it underneath the shingles, it was getting underneath the ice and water and then going in behind the vent on top of the paper and then coming into the attic. So I ended up putting a bead of sealant around the top of all of the vents, and that should keep any kind of moisture out going forward until we get a few sunny days and those shingles start to stick better. But for now, that'll keep them watertight. They'll be good to go. And so now we're gonna head back home. I'm gonna probably drop off some of these tools. The customer that I was supposed to go to later on this afternoon ended up canceling today, so we're not gonna be going there. So now it's probably just gonna be an afternoon of editing for tomorrow's video. All right guys, just pulling back up to the trailer. I think while I have everything on the truck, I'm gonna go back up onto our house, and we had a leak that popped up during a really heavy rain. This was only probably a week or so ago, but we had a slight rain. We've never noticed it before. Or sorry, we had a slight leak that we've never noticed before, but it was during a really heavy rainfall. And I think what I'm gonna go do is look at some of the nails that are up there, and I'm gonna pop some of those out because I already went up and gave it a look over, and some of the sealant had worn out over some of those nails. This might have been in a previous video, I'm not 100% sure. But what I do have are some white roofing screws to match the white trim. So I can pop out all those old nails, and what I can do is put down some sealant underneath the counter flashing and put those roofing screws back into the decking. Because we got a little bit of daylight left in the day, and you know what, why not, right? So I think I need a little bit of white caulking. But I think I have another tube here as well. Yes, I do, and this one's pretty well full. So I'll need a good handful of those. So yeah, you guys have probably seen this in the past video, but I haven't had time in the last couple weeks to actually repair this, so that's what we're gonna go do today. I've seen this with landscapers and other contractors. Their own personal house is always the last one to get serviced. And I don't know what it is. I guess you're just so busy running around and doing everybody else's work that you don't have much time for your own. You can see little Bootsy in there. You don't like all the noise. So up here, these counter flashing nails, I think were what were giving us the trouble. Now we also have a few vents here. That could be the main source. And you can see how a lot of these, they were sealed, or, well, I think they were sealed at one time, and the sealant is just kind of worn off. Now this roof isn't all that old, but you can see it's just a kind of a bare nail there. Like this one has quite a bit of rust on it. If you go up here, these have quite a bit of rust. This is only a couple years old, so I think what I'm gonna do is take our flat bar. Actually, I might just put this whole thing on. Man, if any of you guys in the comments have a suggestion for keeping in these screws, I'm constantly having to re-put on this clip. It's always falling off. I'm assuming, I think some Loctite would probably work. Something to keep that thread from backing out. All right, so we're gonna start over here. So usually what I like to do is take out old nails like that, and then what I'll do is I'll lift the flashing, put in some sealant that seals up that entire hole, and then what we'll do is we'll take a roofing screw and we'll pop that through instead. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we had a really heavy rain. What was that? That was like, I think last week. And so we had a little drip that came in the sill of the, it's almost like bookcase thing there. Yeah, so we had a little bit of water coming in there. There's a few areas that weren't sealed up 100%, so I thought I would touch up a few of the spots and see if that helps. You're welcome. Okay. All right. You can see that this was never really caulked, at least not well. And you can see how water has traveled in here. So we're gonna put a nice fresh bead on that. Oh, we got about 5 feet done and another 20 feet to go. Alright, well that's the last little bit of our nails. Now we just gotta finish installing the screws. I've got a little bit of sealant in here left. Tube number 2. Alright, let's see if we can find one more black roofing screw because we were one short. Come on, we gotta have one in here. Aha, 4. Very nice. Uh-oh, we're leaking leaking out the side. Man, just all my tubes have just gone kaputs. I don't know what it is, if this manufacturer, if Molko is making them cheaper, or if it's because of the cold or what. They haven't gotten wet. Literally 3 out of the last 4 tubes I've used have all split apart. All right, all done. Well, hopefully that takes care of it. I know the counter flashing goes up high enough. It goes up nice beyond the, I shouldn't even say counter flashing, it's the siding's really the counter flashing, but the head wall flashing goes up nice and high. It's, you know, a good 6-7 inches onto the roof, so it's got lots of coverage. I think it was just a few of those unsealed nails, and maybe some of these pieces of lap trim as well. Yeah, it could have came from a vent, because the interior framing, even though this is sloped downwards, the interior framing actually has a ridge to it. This is a roof. There was a roof put over a roof, basically. So your interior framing and the interior ceiling is like this, whereas the outside is like this. So even if there was a leak somewhere in, you know, the top portion of this, it could have rode those trusses on down into the bookshelf. But anyways, hopefully that takes care of everything. I mean, you could go on for hours and hours redoing some of these, you know. Those should really be addressed as well. You know, and I'm gonna go grab my fold-up ladder. We're gonna pop that up here real quick. Might as well tap in some of these trop spikes while we're here. Get all this stuff put away before it's dark time, because I'd like to clean out my tool belt. That thing weighs probably about 50 pounds, and it is messy. Ooh, my ladder's playing music. One of the things you always gotta look out for is your step flashing running past your top shingle here. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it does not look like we have any step flashing here at all. It's just kind of relying on caulking. So if you're short steps, man, it don't hurt to just put a couple in. Also, something to maybe keep in mind is try to keep your nails out of this area. Reason being is you're gonna have a lot more water that's flowing down here and hitting this nail. Man, it's windy. I probably said that about 5 times. All right, so I think I'm gonna go put all this stuff away back in the trailer. And that'll be pretty much it for today. Our ultra high-tech locking mechanism for the ladder. Well, this thing keeps falling apart, and I don't have any super glue, but what I do have is a little bit of caulking. So I'm gonna take this old busted up tube. I'm gonna see if this is gonna hold it on. And if this doesn't work, well, we'll get some Loctite. And it keeps falling off anyways, so it's not like I'm really losing anything. And as I say that, I literally just dropped the screw. All right, let's take some of the tools out of here. Well, I try to do this, you know, more than once and throughout the season, but yeah, you guys know how it is. You just get super busy and you don't have time for little things like this as much. Really, I'll probably end up picking up a new belt, you know, in the new season, but I like to get as much life as I can out of them. And as you can see, you know, I wipe caulking on them and all kinds of crud, you know, so I'm almost hesitant to get a really nice belt because I really use and abuse my tool belts. I've seen tool belts out there that have magnetic holsters on them, which I thought was really cool. So you can put things like little, you know, soffit screws or things like that. You don't have to go digging around in your pouch. And so I thought that would be really helpful, especially if you're like a siding guy or something, you know, and you're having some little, just having something readily available. It's easy to grab. So I try to keep, you know, our finishing nails, things like that, because those are useful and they do cost money. So I try to keep as much as I can. And so I'll sort through these a little bit, and I really need to do a better job of just whatever I'm putting in my tool belt, I'm either making sure I use all of it or making sure I put it back. So I'll just throw all of these in one pouch, and we'll go inside the trailer and start organizing them in their bins. Again, like this one's just full of miscellaneous things. All right, so let's take this inside. So things like spikes, put those in different. I usually just have one dedicated spike pouch or spike pocket. Again, little spikes like this, right? I'll keep those. Little finishing nails we obviously keep. These are white, looks like. I mean, that's kind of gunky, but you could probably still use it. Longer hand nails. Usually all the roofing nails I'll just pretty well toss. And then we put everything back. Typically wear my belt like this. It's a cat's bar. We got a new pair of snips coming in, so honestly we should rig up a level, a large speed square, and then a smaller one as well. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna go and take out a few of the things that are in the back seat because we don't need them for winter. So I have some yard signs back there. I might just leave my estimating booklets in there because I do have some adjustments to make for those. All right, guys, well, I've got 9% battery left on this GoPro, so that'll be pretty much the end of this video. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. This year has been really awesome for us, starting the YouTube channel, getting to as many subscribers as we have now. And so I really want to thank all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel this year and who watch our videos, who comment on our videos, who like them. We really, really appreciate it. And we're definitely not going to have as much content going on throughout the winter. Henna and I will probably make some vlogs here and there, but obviously we're not roofing, so we don't have roofing content to really make. So I'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm still in my head with a lot of my ideas, and I'm going to see how things go. But definitely some more content to come in the near future, rolling out to till about mid to end December, and then after that things will start slowing down a little bit. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again to everybody that watches us. We really appreciate it. And with that being said, we will see you guys in the next one.